So, $40,700 profit in 6 months from sealed Pokemon. Is it possible? Is it luck? Is it a fluke? Well, yes and no, but I don't think so. What I've done, I've compiled 6 examples of sets over the last 6 months that have grown so rapidly in price that you could have made that amount of profit. So what we're going to do in today's video is we're going to explore those 6 sets that have just gone incredibly north. Then I've found what I think 4 key features from those 6 sets that we can use in the future when we're looking into sealed Pokemon investing to our advantage to hopefully make a similar sort of profit as what those did. So we're going to jump in shortly and we're going to look at the 6 sets that have gone incredibly north. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to share the 4 secrets that I think I've found with those 6 sets that can help make us money when we're looking into the future for investing in sealed Pokemon. So I just want to make one thing clear with those 6 sets though, is not all of them had great supply 6 months ago and probably have even less supply now. So you could have used a bunch of capital into one of those sets and seen it rise, or you could have spread it out more thinly and diversified it across a lot of those 6 sets or other sets. I've just picked 6. These aren't the only 6 that have gone bonkers, but I think these 6 out of the last few years, the last 6 months are 6 that really, really stood out to me. And other thing I want to make clear is if you put a heap of capital into one set, particularly if it's got low supplies, you can end up buying up the ladder, so to speak. So yes, you might get the cheapest on the market, but then if you want to buy another one, you've got to get the second cheapest and the third cheapest, fourth cheapest. So when you're spending that amount of money, it's hard in one go because you could be eating out the market and climbing up the ladder to a place where you're eventually paying big dollars just to get a booster box. So I think for the example on the heading here about the $40,000, just so you know, that is also off the Collector app. So it's not mine, certainly not mine. Found it on a Reddit forum that we're on. So what we're going to do, we'll jump in now to the first of the 6 sets. Let's have a look at those. So first one we're looking at is an English set, Cosmic Eclipse. There is no mistake that the last 4 tag team sets from the Sun and Moon era have gone incredibly north over the last 6 months. The chase cards from these sets, the alt arts are just phenomenal. They've seen rapid growth and it's caused some rapid growth in the sealed product. So with Cosmic Eclipse 6 months ago, a really cheap one was maybe $700, but you'd quite often have to pay $750, maybe even a smidgen more to get yourself a booster box. Nowadays though, a cheap one might be $1,050, whereas a dear one is about $1,150. And just to make note, all these prices I'm showing or talking through today are Australian dollars. What's that get you now? 60 cents, 65 cents US, so just keep that in mind. Second one here is a Japanese set, Blue Sky Stream. So 6 months ago, you could sort of pick these up, and I'm using StockX here. I've jumped off TCG Player. Probably picked these up for about $297. Thereabouts, so just under anywhere from $250 to $300 a box, $300 on the high end. Now, you're paying probably a touch north of $500. So they've near 2x their money in a 6-month period. $535 was the last sale on StockX. So these have seen some rapid growth. Third set I want to share with you, and this is another Japanese set, and there's no mistake here. Eevee Heroes, what a wonderful set. Obviously focused solely on Eevee and Eevee's evolutions. There are some fantastic cards. There's obviously the Japanese Moonbryon in here, which is just stunning. Don't know why, but I prefer it over the English version. I don't know whether it just looks classier, but I just like it more. 6 months ago, you were paying a touch over 300 Australian dollars for this box. Now you're paying a touch over $600. So it has well and truly 2x'd its money in the last 6 months. Fourth set we're looking at, and back to an English set, is Team Up. Again, no mistake, these tag teams have gone bonkers, and none more so than Team Up. That Latios and Latias alt art, the Gengar and Mimikyu, just to name a couple, have gone like absolutely bonkers, just skyrocketed in price. As too has the booster box. We all know it was a one and done print set, but 6 months ago, it wasn't cheap anyway. You're already paying maybe 12 to 1,300 Australian dollars 6 months ago. And now the last sales of Team Up have just like well over 2,000 Australian dollars to get yourself a Team Up booster box now. So in the last 6 months, again, these have close to 2x their money. Fifth one we're looking at is, again, the last of the tag teams I'm going to share with you, but Unified Minds. 6 months ago, and this to a lesser extent from Cosmic and Team Up, but 6 months ago, 500 was a cheap one, 550 was sort of an average price one, and you might stretch a bit above that if you really wanted one, but now, you know, you're looking at 750 and in some cases 800 Australian dollars for a Unified Minds booster box. I did a video on this set, if you want to check it out in my videos on my page, just about the future of this set. I think it has a lot more growth to go. I think it's going to sort of follow in the same path as something like Cosmic Eclipse. The alt arts are beautiful in this set, and I think they're a bit underrated. So there is a bit more growth to go with this set, but has seen 1.5x pretty much its value in the last 6 months. The sixth and final set I want to share with you before we get into looking at the 4 things that these 6 sets have in common is Evolving Skies. Now, this trajected north like before the last 6 months. So probably sort of 12 to 18 months ago, this is when it took its real jump. But the last 6 months, it's still seen some pretty like hectic growth. It's gone from about 450 Australian to maybe 550, sometimes up to $600 a box. So that's another one that's really seen some parabolic sort of growth in the last 6 months. Right, so I've sort of studied these 6 examples, and there's more. Please let me know if you've got some other examples of sets that have gone bonkers in the 6 months. Please let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear from them. But I found 4 key things with these 6 sets that they all have in common. The first one is, at launch, demand always outweighs supply. As in, people are buying them up at pre-order quicker than the company can put them online for sale. Like, they're selling out. And we could probably, as an example, we could use that in the new Pokemon 151 or Scarlet and Violet 151. That is selling out before it's even hit the market. So let's reiterate that. Demand outweighs supply before it even hits the market. Now, I do sales as a career. I've been doing it for a fair while. And although the things that I sell depreciate in price, I sell motor cars, but we always have a saying that if it's popular new, it's going to be popular secondhand. What we mean by that is if there's heaps of demand for a product new, it's going to hold its value pretty well secondhand or very well secondhand. And I think the same thing rings true in the Pokemon world, that if demand outweighs supply or something is super, super popular when it's new, as supply dwindles, there's less and less of them as a sealed product, then price is only going to trend upwards. So that's the first key thing that I found when looking at all these 6 sets, that demand outweighs supply at launch. Second thing, the hits are worth big dollars. So there's not average chase cards inside it. There's big hits. And these 2 things tie in really well together. And I think when you think of the new Scarlet and Violet, like take Paldea Evolve, for example. People are sort of not crapping on this set, but it's not the greatest. You know, there's overstock. Like, places are overstocked. Boxes are coming down in price. So, and you compare that to a set like Evolving Skies, where demand outweighed supply and therefore boxes were going up in price. You think about the hits inside it, and you also think about the level of Pokemon, and that's going to be my third point. So second one, the hits are worth big dollars. They're not $60 hits or $50 hits. They're $300 hits, or in cases like Umbreon, $450 hits. The third key point that I learnt from these sets is it has fan favorite Pokemon. Like, the Evolutions have always been super popular across the generations when it comes to Pokemon trading cards. A set like Evolving Skies that also has Dragonite and Rayquaza. Sets like Team Up, which has Gengar. Sets like Unified Minds, which has Mewtwo and Mew. Those fan favorite Pokemon seem to be in these sets. Coincidence? I don't think so. So, and the fourth big point that I noticed is they're all really nice sets or boxes to display, and supply dwindles quickly. So if you're keeping it sealed, you've got a product where supply is decreasing. So therefore, the price should only go up. So what can we learn from those four things? Again, demand outweighs supply, the hits are worth good dollars, fan favorite Pokemon inside a set, and really nice to display. And as you display over time, supply dwindles because the chase cards are so popular. If we look to investing now, let's just focus on Paldea and Evolve. Sorry, not Paldea Evolve, Scarlet and Violet. So base set, we'd go no. Paldea Evolved, with those four criteria, we'd go no. Pokemon 151 or Scarlet and Violet 151 in English, yes, 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 yes. Demand is outweighing supply. The hits, we don't know yet, but the hits should be worth good dollars. It's got fan favorite Pokemon, and it's just a nice clean box to display, and I think supply will dwindle pretty quickly over time. So when we look at investing, I think so far in the Scarlet and Violet era, you can't go wrong with Pokemon 151. So can you make that, again, winding right back to the start of the video, would it have been possible to make, $40,700 in the last 6 months off sealed Pokemon investing? Well, you could have. You could have bought cases upon cases of Eevee Heroes booster boxes 6 months ago. You could have diversified and bought Cosmic Eclipse and Team Up and Unified Minds, or you could have bought a bunch of Evolving Skies booster boxes or Blue Sky Stream, or give me some other examples in the comments that you could have bought. The point is, if you use those criteria, you can be very specific about what you invest in, and therefore it could herald the returns like $40,000 in 6 months. I don't think if you bought heavily into a set like Paldea Evolve, that much at all, if anything, is going to happen in 6 months. In fact, it could wind backwards a little bit in 6 months. So please leave me some thoughts and comments in the comments section. Love to hear your thoughts on it as well. Have you had a success story? Have you had something that's gone up in value massively, or has your collection gone up in value massively? Please let me know. Cheers.